Greetings everyone, it's Kaz here, and today I wanted to make a video, I guess, in the fallout of E3 2017, which broadly overall was certainly a very solid and decent show, but didn't have quite the huge highs that many E3s in the past number of years have had. But today, I don't want to talk about E3 overall, I want to talk about The Last of Us Part 2 specifically, because The Last of Us Part 2, or the lack thereof The Last of Us Part 2, at Sony's E3 press conference for 2017, left more than a few people a little bit disappointed. So today I wanted to ask the question, when will we see some gameplay of The Last of Us Part 2? When will we see perhaps another trailer? And overall, when will we see the game actually release? Well, and the answer to the last question there is that we're not going to see this game for at least 2 years, and that is a fact. The Last of Us Part 2 will not release any earlier than 2019. And that is a misconception that has been going around and I feel spreading in the gaming community as of late. I've seen it in comment threads around the internet where gamers that are perhaps more casual, not so into the nitty-gritty of our industry, like myself and like many others out there, they have this misconception that a lot of other people seem to be backing up for some reason, that Last of Us Part 2 is releasing very soon. People seem to believe it's coming out this year, and that is absolutely not true. When The Last of Us Part 2 was revealed at PSX last year in 2016, we got a trailer, and prior to it, Sean Layden on stage made the statement that this game is early in development. It is not far along at all, and he made that very, very clear, as did Neil Druckmann as well later on for The Last of Us Part 2 panel at that same event. They were clearly trying to emphasize that this game is in early development and not to expect it anytime soon, but yet still people were expecting it very soon and were expecting more from the game. And of course that meant that people were expecting stuff at E3 2017. Now, did I think we were going to see stuff for Last of Us Part 2 at E3 this year? I didn't. But am I surprised that many people thought it was going to be there? I'm not surprised about that at all. Frankly, I don't blame a lot of people for believing it was going to be there. I understand where they're coming from in that respect. I knew how early the game was in development, and I've had, ever since the moment it was announced, in my head that this game is coming minimum 2019, that I felt as though there was no chance it was going to be at E3 this year, because that's just simply showing too much too early. And to be honest, I think that the PSX 2016 reveal proved that they did reveal the game too early. The fact that now they've got fans genuinely pissed off, fans who are perhaps not quite as informed as they should be on the topic, and even though they can say as much as they like that, oh, it's early in development guys, please don't get too hyped, everyone's going to get hyped, everyone's not going to listen to that. And as a result, yes, of course they were going to be pissed off that the game wasn't at E3. As a matter of fact, it was always going to happen. So yes, while the original reveal trailer last year was fantastic, I do genuinely believe that they revealed the game too early and perhaps should have saved it to PSX this year or even E3 next year in 2018 perhaps. So, Last of Us Part 2, I believe it's coming out minimum 2019, it wasn't at E3 this year, people were pissed, I believe it shouldn't have been at PSX, so with all that aside, when will we get a new trailer for The Last of Us Part 2, or will we even get gameplay? So I believe this is going to happen at one of two times. I think we're going to get either the next trailer or some gameplay for the game at either PSX this year, 2017, or E3 2018. If I were a betting man, I would put my money on the fact that there's gonna be a new trailer this year at PSX, but not gameplay. If the game is coming out in 2019, I still think it's too soon to show gameplay. And if we put it in around the spot perhaps where the original Last of Us released in the middle of the year around June time, then showing a full gameplay demo 1.5 years before the game's coming out is only going to get people more excited, which of course is great. You want fans to be excited for the title, but I think that's getting them too excited too early on. So there you go, I've laid out my thoughts of The Last of Us Part 2, I've put out my prediction. Now, I guess we've got to play the long game and see exactly how it turns out. Am I going to be right? Who the hell knows? But I do hope that Sony and Naughty Dog don't make the mistake of showing too much too soon. I simply do not want to get people's expectations so high that then they're ultimately, obviously going to be let down in terms of when this game is coming out. So now I believe it's all up to Sony in terms of how they decide to execute the marketing for this game and when they trickle out information, and we will see how it goes from there. So what do you guys think of The Last of Us Part 2? Do you believe my prediction? Do you think I'm absolutely off my head? Make sure you let me know in the comment section below. Please do subscribe to the channel if you are new around here, and do check out some of my other content. That would be very much appreciated. But thank you all very much for watching today's video, and I'll see you all next time. Take care, farewell.